blow-off valve. I wonder if you can hear that. Today, we're going to replace the forged blow-off valve in this car. What's going on, folks? Eddie here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I am. It's so nice out. This is ridiculous. It's a fantastic day out today here in Vancouver. It's February, but this is why a lot of us Canadians really like it here in Vancouver. We can drive with the top down in the winter. It might rain a lot, but we do get these gems in here and there. And today's a gem. Oh my God. So to bring you guys up to speed on this car, it has an ATP GT1752 turbo, ATP larger E85 fuel injectors. It has a 200 cell, it has a 200 cell catted downpipe, as well as a couple other tiny little bits, like the odd Ricambi Axleback to give us a little bit more sound. This thing's really a fun car the way it sits. I could drive it every day just like this. But I wouldn't. You know, this car needs to do more. And it's gonna be a race up until the Dragon to get everything done for this thing. By the time I get to the Dragon, I want the built engine in here. And if at all possible, I want the new turbo in here. Now, I keep talking about the new turbo, but I haven't told you guys what it is yet. The turbo we're going with is a Garrett G25 550, which is in theory a 550 horsepower turbo. So we'll be able to make a ton of power on that turbo. Now, I don't expect to be able to hit 550 horsepower with the thing. I think that's a little optimistic. This is only a 1.4, but there's no reason we can't hit our 400 horsepower. No reason at all. Turbo that I really wanted is not available from Garrett yet. They have a version of the turbo we're ordering with a 0.49 AR, which would have been absolutely perfect for this car. Either way, we'll start out with the 70 some odd AR turbo first. It's going to be a little bit laggier than I would like it to be, but it will not be bad. It will not be anywhere near the range that my old TD05 was. Any folks that watched my old car, that 500, it was a lot of fun. Periodically, I get folks messaging me, asking me about putting a TD05 in their 500. Now, I did it, and it made for a really fun car, but I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of advice. Don't bother. It's a lot of turbo and you get a lot of lag. You're better off, if you're not gonna be building and you're not gonna be porting, going with either the turbo that I've used in this car or a stuffed 1446. If that's not quite enough turbo for you, look into something that's ball bearing. Don't go with an older journal bearing turbo unless it's gonna be a smaller one like a TD04. The TD04 works really well in the 1.4s. A lot of folks in Europe use that as their de facto turbo upgrade, and it is a good turbo. But the TD05 that I used, while it's great for top-end power, you don't want to daily drive one of those things. It's a bit too laggy. That turbo came on right around 3,000 RPM, but didn't make peak boost until after 4K. And in-city driving with that, very laggy, and you don't want to deal with that. So I'm all for switching turbos, just don't go with that turbo that I used. It was fun, it was great, but I don't want to see you folks get annoyed with the lack of low end that your car will have. Pro tip. So unfortunately the front mount intercooler didn't make it here in time for this weekend, so we couldn't do that install video. It'll be here next week, so we'll be able to finish that up next weekend. So if you guys don't know what this car is currently running for power, I have no idea either. We're trying to guess. We're saying it's probably around 220-ish. And you know, for this platform, it's not bad. It's not quite enough, but it's really not bad. So we dynoed the car when it was stock. It wasn't a big power maker. We made all of 154-ish on the dyno that we were running on. And then when we got the tune into the car, we made about 182. So we haven't dynoed it since the bigger turbo went in, or the 85, or the injectors, or the downpipe, but that's kind of where the car's at. It's fun this way. If you folks want to get a decent amount of power, fix your top end, seriously, you can probably make it all happen really quickly by just doing one of these turbos in a small tune. It doesn't take much. If you want to go crazier though, I guess we can show you how to do that too. So I've been posing this question on social media over the last little while. And that question is, what car do we do next? So when this car is done, or towards the end, we're going to start modifying a 500 as well. We're going to put a 1752 into an Abarth 500 and see where that takes us. But when we're done that car, we're really not sure where to go after that. I want to know what you folks think. Throw the cars into the comments. Let us know what you think we should do next. I'd like to do something other than a multi-air 1.4 though, I'm not going to lie. After the Abarth 500's done, really that'll have been 3 multi-air 1.4s that I've been involved in, so I'd like to do something else different. Any ideas you folks have, I'm completely game.
So the reason I'm replacing the forged blow-off valve is it's not really meant to be on the 1752. It's been working, it's okay, but the surface area that the forged blow-off valve has to bite onto a hose is minimal. So yeah, it's popped off the car 3 times in total now. I'm surprised it hasn't popped off more. I did this as a patch together. I already had the forged blow-off valve kit. It worked, it was okay, but I'd meant to replace that blow-off valve a lot sooner than I have. But anyhow, we're doing it. Now the coolest part about doing a blow-off valve is you get new sounds, and the blow-off valve sounds out of this thing are very, very good. If you're going to use a 1752, be it on an Abarth 124 or a 500, the forged solenoid is great for controlling your blow-off valve. It means you can get factory type operation, but the forged blow-off valve itself doesn't fit the 1752. If you already have the forged blow-off valve kit on your 1446, when you upgrade to the 1752, keep that solenoid installed. You're going to use that, but go out and buy one of these Turbosmart blow-off valves. The reason I'm recommending the Turbosmart is fitment. The Turbosmart Kompact blow-off valves come with a 25mm in, or a 1-inch port, which is the same size as the port on the 1752. So what you can do if you already have your forge kit for your 1446, when you upgrade, you just leave that solenoid in place, you get a 1-inch diameter silicone hose, and you connect those 2 ports together. Then all you have to do is run the vacuum line that used to go to your forged blow-off valve kit into the Turbosmart blow-off valve, and that's it. It'll control it just like it was controlling the forge kit. I expect this to close a little faster than the forge. The spring that's in the Turbosmart is stiffer than the spring that's in the forge. I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but you know, if your blow-off valve closes faster, it means you recover your boost faster between gear shifts. That's a good thing, really. Let's go install that blow-off valve. Before we go though, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe to keep up with what we're doing. If you want to know when a new video comes out, don't forget to hit that little notification bell. As usual, all the links to the parts in the car are in the description below. Alright, so as embarrassing as it is, this is the blow-off valve setup currently on the 1752. This is the forged blow-off valve. It's connecting to the forged blow-off valve solenoid, which is right here. This is not how you should do it. This works, but this has blown off this car 3 times. Yeah, this is not how you hook up a blow-off valve. This is what we're replacing the forged blow-off valve with. Technically, this is actually a diverter valve, but the only difference between the diverter model and one that blows off would be this piece. So the blow-off valve model has a trumpet to give that blow-off valve sound, that nice, crisp, loud sound that you hear out from under the hood. This still makes a sound, it's fine. I do have the trumpet on order, but this is just the way it's going to run for now. Now, we could hook this up as a diverter properly. We would just run this into the intake right here. In fact, it's probably a great way to make this happen. I will show you how bad this is in a moment. So the reason this kept popping off is this lip is tiny. It's absolutely minuscule, and
It was sitting in this hose clamped on. Like I said, this is not how you connect a blow-off valve to the 1752. Do not do it the way I did it. You know, for a few days or whatever, sure, but don't leave it as long as I did. This thing will pop off. It just, 3 times I found this thing sitting in the front of my engine bay. Yeah, anyhow, garbage. Inspect your vacuum lines after you disconnect them. Look for any tears. That one looks good. All right. All right. That's it. Done. Simple as that.
All right, so I can show you a couple clips of what the car sounds like with the blow-off valve, but most of this is from the next episode of builds. I don't want to give too much away. Anyhow, yeah, take a listen. So it has a more defined sound. I'm pretty happy with it. You'll get a better idea of what it sounds like in the next episode. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. We've got a lot of stuff coming up on the short. Like I said, we don't got much time left until the Dragon. Anyhow, later.